Hello, good evening and welcome to our front. Today, there's a response from the largest opposition party to the president's opening up to the media for an assessment of his first 6 months in office. We would interrogate this particular response just as we interrogated the president's 6 months in office, which he gave some details, which was actually given to many people out there. We will come to an appreciation of what the NDC thinks about what the president says he has done or is yet to do or is in the throes of doing in the last 6 months. After this break. You're welcome back. This is Upfront. We'll cut through the spin and bring you the facts on this show. My name is Raymond Akwa. My guest is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Koku Anyide, who is known for his rather bold commentary on many issues. The NDC has put out a bold statement on the 6-month stay of the Akufo Addo administration. We'll be interrogating this particular statement, and we can start a conversation now. You're welcome, sir, to Upfront.
Thank you, Raymond.
I hope you are doing well.
Well, we'll survive it, we'll manage it.
Interesting. I mean, being in opposition, rarely you're supposed to oppose many of the things that government does, and the understanding then is that you would have to posit the alternative view. A statement was issued today. The national chairman actually did address the nation. This is going on the back of the president, what they call it, Meet the Press series.
Exactly.
First and foremost, there's a discussion about which media house was not allowed, which ones were allowed in there. How did that event go for you?
Well, I think that for somebody who had the opportunity to organize such events under the late President Nathaniel's, may he so rest in peace, I used to manage his communications for him at the presidency. Yeah. The difference is that in our time, what we did was to allow the president to take center stage and allow the media to enjoy the one-on-one with him, because presidents have very busy schedules. And so once in a year, let the president come out there and engage the media on all fronts, all subjects, all issues, without the backing of his ministers. In fact, the vice president even didn't attend any of those encounters, if I recall. It allows the president to position himself as somebody who's on top of the issues, who understands. And it's not because you are saying that the president alone is the fulcrum of all knowledge or the repository of all knowledge. But all you are saying is that the president positions himself as being somebody who understands the issues. I'll give a typical example. When the issue of Côte d'Ivoire was bubbling up and whether Ghana had to commit troops or not to a force of aggression, not a peacekeeping force, a force of aggression to go and take out Laurent Gbagbo. In the midst of the ifing and the batting about it, President Mills decided that, look, he needed expert advice. So he got former President Rawlings and a few retired military generals, Lieutenant General Arnold Kwenu, my own father, Major General retired Henry Anyidoho, and a few other generals who had war experience. And they met. By the time President Mills was speaking to the media at the castle and saying, look, I have adopted a zero-fees-assem policy, it was because he had engaged at length President Rawlings because of his experience as president when the Liberia and the Sierra Leone crisis broke out. He was also president when the Rwanda crisis broke out. And this, General Kwenu.
I get your point.
Yeah, so it's not because the president, off the top of his head, has all the answers, but he consults. So for me, the president the other day and throwing questions to his vice president and his ministers and virtually not staying on top of the issues, I wasn't impressed.
Would you have rather he said things he was not sure of?
No. I would rather he got full briefing and come out there and prove to us that he's on top of all the issues as President of the Republic of Ghana.
One clarification you gave me, though, I thought the Zulfiasem statement was in support of Article 2, Clause 7 of the UN Charter, which actually advocates non-interference. But you actually believe that there was a broader consultation?
It is a whole gamut of the issue of non-interference, but not just because of that UN Charter, but also because with particular reference to Côte d'Ivoire. Okay. We have a lot of Ghanaians in Côte d'Ivoire. We had just birthed the FPS Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana Ivorian waters.
So it's not wise to go there in the first place.
Thank you.
I get your point.
Yes,
now,
yes.
you differentiate the two in terms of who was allowed to participate in answering the questions.
Yes.
But
In terms of?
Yes, in terms of the president's own, how about delivery? Did he do well for you?
Oh, no. I mean, when it comes to speaking the Queen's language, I don't think anybody can fault Nana Akufo-Addo on that. I mean, the language is not his problem.
Yeah.
It's more of substance.
Yeah.
Than delivery. As for the language, is not his
You don't
problem.
think that the form matters too?
Yeah, well, the form is very critical. I mean,
and he delivered on the form. You won't say so?
No, I think that he spoke a lot of English.
No, but
he
should be able to admit that
he didn't land solidly on issues. I mean, to be fair to him, on the question that had
to be fair to him,
on the
he delivered on the form of delivery.
Yes, on the form of delivery.
He did well.
Oh yes, on the form of delivery. He was not in fit and start.
Okay.
In terms of his delivery. I mean, he seemed to be able to comprehend all the questions that were thrown at him.
Yes.
But in terms of answering and being able to convince us that he was solid on the issue, that's where I think that he didn't stand himself tall.
The statement says the ability to memorize and rattle English lines with strange intonations does not necessarily lend heavyweight and substance to speech.
Precisely so.
What does this really mean?
Well,
after you admitting that he delivered it properly and he delivered the English language in the way that it ought to be done.
So rattling English.
So what is this strange intonation?
Well, rattling English with strange intonation doesn't necessarily mean that there's substance in what you are saying.
That's interesting to know. Anyway, but one comparison I also wanted to do for me, because you've been director of communications before, did you exclude any media house? Any popular media house?
Thank you. I like that. No. Actually, I ran the invitations myself.
Really?
Yeah. And what I used to do was to put personal phone calls through to everybody. If it was on Man FM, I would call Fifi Boafo, and Fifi Boafo, you are invited. I would call Kweku Boako, Crusading Guide, you are invited.
Okay.
I'll call Sifa Kain, Peace FM, you are invited. I'll call Ben Efsin, you are invited. I'll call Kwesi Pratt, I'll call Bature, I'll call Adakabe, I'll call Bernard Avle, I'll call Kobi Fiagbe.
You never called
I'll call Joy FM.
You never called Kenneth Ejay Cranch?
Yes, I'm coming to it.
The Jinamekon
yes.
Court.
No. He was Searchlight.
Searchlight, yeah.
Because that was the president's personal discretion. I don't want that guy in here because he insults me too much.
The president asked you to do so?
Yes. And the president has that discretion. I don't want him here because he insults me too much.
President
it's not about criticism. It's not about
a discretion over freedom of speech
in
the media.
Not about insulting him. Why?
Okay.
Baku criticizes President Mills. Why does he insult him? Fifi Boafo, Man FM, Kennedy Japan. Who insults more than Kennedy Japan? But it is not Fifi Boafo who does the insulting. Okay. So Fifi Boafo is allowed in. So that is it. You cannot be insulting me and I bring you into my bedroom to come and insult me more. No. So yes, Kenneth J. Crunchy was never invited. I have no regrets about it. But then you're talking about popular. How popular is Searchlight anyway?
Anyway, that's interesting to note. But Radio Gold was not invited to this encounter.
Unfortunately so. Not Radio Gold alone. You didn't get the Informer being invited. You didn't get Ghanaian Lens being invited. You didn't get the Herald being invited.
The Informer, Ghanaian Lens, how different are they from the Searchlight?
You didn't get... It's up to you to tell me.
Yeah.
I've given my opinion on Searchlight.
Okay.
Unless you want to give your opinion on those papers as well.
No. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you that how different are they? And since you excluded the Searchlight, did they have the right to exclude these papers? If
Ahin and co think that they had a very good reason for excluding those papers, well, let them tell us. I'm telling you the reason why Searchlight was never invited.
Oh, okay. I get your point. I understand that. But I think they did right in not doing so. If they had a good reason, they have every right to prevent
if they have a reason why they didn't do it, is their reason.
Can you defend them?
Defend
because
them.
You've done it before.
I'm telling you that in the case of Searchlight, it was because of what he was doing to the president. The president didn't want him there. If Hiroji is telling us today, and Nana Akufo-Addo told him not to invite Radio Gold, the Informer, and the Ghanaian Lens and Ahunto FM, that is it.
Anyway, Mustafa Ahmed says the next time there will be the first people to be invited, as the representative from Radio Gold.
You see, you do those. I mean, Radio Gold is one of the oldest radio stations in this country. It has a reputation.
Yeah.
Nobody can say Radio Gold has it. Radio Gold has a solid reputation. Muntie is much of a baby. Ahunto is even much of a babyer than even Muntie. But
certainly.
Exactly. But Radio Gold is up there among the oldest. You know, I'm sure after Recruitable something I, Radio I, which became Joy FM, multimedia. I think Radio Gold might have been next. And then on the 6th of March, 1996, I reckon, that's when Radio Gold was set up. So if you decide to do that and take a shine away from whatever it is the president was supposed to have said, that is people managing the president and
I get your point.
Yes.
Anyway, but now let's go. You were just saying that he didn't deliver a lot of substance. What were you expecting him to say specifically?
Raymond, especially on the issue of law and order.
Yeah.
I think that is very critical. It's the pivot around which the governance process evolves everywhere in the world. Minus peace and security, minus a stable law and order process, everything else pales into insignificance. There can be no development without peace. If you don't have a legal regime and a law and order system that exudes confidence, you're not attracting the investment. Capital has a choice. Yeah. Capital will go where it can find
stability.
Exactly. Yeah. And where there's law and order, where things operate in a more organized manner. If there's chaos and there's anarchy, capital is not going to fly into that system. Now, while capital is not flying into that system because of the chaos and the anarchy, the local persons in there also are unable to function and perform properly because there's anarchy and there's chaos. Combine the two and you have a system that is virtually atrophied.
Is there anarchy in Ghana today?
There is.
Really?
No matter how...
Is there an operational definition of anarchy that's not known to anybody?
Anarchy comes in different shapes and sizes.
Okay, I
anarchy
see.
Where you have a president being at the seat of government and hoodlums, brigands associated with the president's party are at the presidency beating up a serving police officer in uniform. That's chaotic, isn't it?
Even if it's been investigated.
But that's after the event. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Not at the seat of government.
Okay.
Let that happen.
I mean, but these are the throes of transition anyway. This is when you are transitioning from one end to the other. So
let that happen at a football match somewhere.
Okay.
But not at the seat of government. And then the inability of the president to act immediately. While the president was pretending not to have noticed what happened, you had heavyweights in his party. The acting chairman, Freddie Blay, the deputy general secretary, Obri Boahin, even the acting general secretary himself, John Boedu. Then you have Ashanti Regional Chairman Muntumi. Then, of course, Kennedy Japan's own is a different kettle of fish, all openly supporting these boys and giving them energy to operate. Then they decide to move their activities notches higher. They are beating up a regional security coordinator. They enter a circuit court, pull off the wig of a sitting judge.
Really?
Yes.
There's no account of that.
Oh, please. Maybe you've chosen to...
Sorry, forgive me, but I'm just saying that what was on official police record says that she was not touched. Official police record. What was actually submitted as part of the Nolly Prosequi filing says she was not touched.
I'm coming to that creature called Nolly Prosequi, which is now giving the anarchists a free room to operate because their bosses have told them, not because I'm saying so, because I have heard and we have all heard, at least two of them, wound to me, Kennedy Japan, openly say, you dare touch those guys. They are our boys. Do you know how much money we spent on them? Do you know how much money we spent training them? Dare touch them. To the extent that the National Security Minister, Kandapa, was openly and heavily insulted by these two characters. That when they were busy financing and training these guys, you Kandapa, where were you? You said you are retired from politics.
So is it a problem?
Now we have won and you have become minister and you are saying you touch these boys. Touch these boys and you'll see what will happen to you.
So the concern to do with the conduct of these vigilante groups, and in fairness, the NDC has vigilante groups too.
We don't.
Really? Bambambo. What they call
they're not vigilante groups.
No, hold on. I'm coming to Azoka boys.
No, they're not vigilante groups.
Really?
No. Azoka is a regional chairman.
Yes.
And there are boys who walk around with him in Tamale. And they operate with and around him.
But how come
see,
Mark Boyungo thinks they are the same?
No. Well, that is his interpretation.
That was former interior minister.
That is his interpretation.
Former interior minister.
That is his interpretation.
Understood the security of the place. If our internal security was under his ministry.
That is his interpretation. You're talking to Kokwajido, not to anybody else.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, as Deputy General Secretary of the party, we don't have any such groups associated with the NDC. Unlike in the case of the MPP, where now we are being told that since 1992, the invisible forces have been an integral wing of the party. And I'm quoting Obri Bwai, the Deputy General Secretary of the party.
Sorry, the MPP's wings are stated in their constitution.
There's
no part of that particular...
No.
But in fairness, the Deputy General Secretary's words do not supersede
but
the constitution of the party.
You forget about the chairman, the acting chairman, says these are our boys.
Yes, but
then the current president used to operate with the invisible forces when he was flag bearer. Those were the boys who chased out Paul Afoko and Kwame Jepon from the head office of the MPP.
Security at the party's headquarters.
Fine.
Yeah.
Security, but they are called Delta Forces, Invisible Forces.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
That is why they have unfettered access to the presidency. I have worked at the presidency before. The castle, Flagstaff House, is all presidency. Worldwide is presidency, my brother. If you are not close to the presidency, if you don't have any official assignment at the presidency, you dare not enter the presidency. So for the invisible forces to have access to the presidency and go and chase out a 7 ASP in uniform, beat him up, somebody took them there.
And the person must surely be...
President Nana Akufo Addo Adankwa. He took them there. They are his boys.
How is that possible?
Oh, come on. They owned the boys. He used them as a flag bearer. He had just won power. Things had not stabilized. I agree with you. He was still in transition period to understand that he was now president of the Republic of Ghana and no longer flag bearer of the MPP. But hey, in that period, the boys said, look, yaba, yaba, yaba. So they were all over the place.
Anyway, but the understanding we also have what has happened beyond this particular point is that they are being dealt with. Delta Force in Kumasi is being dealt with. Invisible Force, according to the Interior Minister, are no longer doing the mayhem that they used to do in times past. Can't the government of the day, especially when the president apologized for their conduct? You heard the apology, right?
The president apologized during his first State of the Nation address.
Yeah.
2-3 days after that, the boys were on even a bigger rampage. But then he ran to Kumasi, went and apologized to Otum for that. I'm sorry that these guys are misconducted themselves in your backyard and beaten up a regional security coordinator. Hardly had he reached Accra, the guys were doing worse things. Master,
so what were you expecting?
They know where they are drawing their powers from.
What were you expecting the president to do?
The president, obviously, he's lost it. What can he do?
No, but I'm just saying that
is why now they have moved from individuals.
Lawlessness is actually curtailed by security agencies, mandated by the Constitution of this republic to operate. Do they need the president's prompting before they can do their job?
The president himself told us during the State of the Nation address that he has given powers to the IGP to operate.
Yes.
Where did he get those powers from? So he just tells what is happening. If it is just a constitutional matter, then the IG and his people should operate on their own. So why did the president and lawyer tell us that he has given powers to the IG to operate?
The IGP's conduct in this case.
What do you mean?
I get the impression from your press statement that you seem to think the police is disabled.
Yes. We're not blaming the police service.
Really?
We think that the police service, the IGP says that, look, we should help them. They seem disarmed. We should help them. Of course, as good citizens, responsible ones are that, we'll help as much as we can. But we don't wield the authority of state. Because
the police has consistently acted in that form. For example, investigations into what happened at Tripoli, investigations into what happened at Abu Blush, that led to the death of the 4 people, currently are still not going anywhere.
Yes.
And these issues happen under the presidency or the tenure of the NDC. So it's the same police force, isn't it?
The same police force.
The same disabled police force.
The same police force, but different head. Times have changed. Look, a typical example is when the Muntie guys, the Muntie 3, were going to go to the Supreme Court for hearing. Under a certain IGP.
People were besieged. They besieged the place.
Thank you.
I was there personally.
But the police were there with riot gear. You saw it.
Yes,
the police were there with riot gear. They were ready for action.
It didn't look like that to me.
So when the boys...
It didn't look like that to me because I saw a journalist from CTFM's iPad dropped to the floor by one person. The police only looked on behind me when I saw the incident happen. It didn't look like
somebody's iPad dropping. The person was careless and he dropped his iPad.
No, it was pushed off his hand. He was actually shoved aside by the people who were there. And I saw the incident with my own eyes.
We are talking about protecting the sanctity of the court.
Yes, including the people who are at the court.
The iPad was in the court?
No, I mean, I'm talking about the journalist who was actually possessing this material.
I'm saying that under one regime, when the case was going to the court, the police virtually cordoned off the area, and they were there in riot gear, anticipating that, look, this is a heavy political issue, and in case the verdict goes a certain way, people will have the tendency to misconduct themselves.
Okay.
And so they were ready for action. Reel forward into another dispensation. These boys, these rogues, these hoodlums, when they were billed for court in Kumasi, a circuit court, under a different dispensation, it was one pregnant policewoman and one constable with a truncheon.
The usual deployment
So
to the court.
in an instance where 3 radio people are going to be tried, there can be full riot gear. And in another instance, when about 14 rogues, hoodlums, are going to go to court, it's one pregnant woman and another constable with a truncheon who go as a security personnel to the court. Are we serious?
And you're saying that this is not the failure
It is
of the
in this
security-
current dispensation.
Really?
It was Kudalo who was IGP under
Yes,
NDC.
yes.
And so the police anticipated. Today, who is IGP and who is president? Let's not compare apples and oranges. Nana
Okay.
Akufo will take the blame squarely for the lawlessness that has engulfed the nation, and he will have to carry it.
You say that in the last 6 months, there's no denying the fact that lawlessness has been allowed to fester. You also proceed to say that hardly a day passed without the news outlet being inundated with stories of horrifying and gory crimes being committed with brazen bravado across the length and breadth of this particular country. You seem to suggest that impunity, one, and lawlessness is on the increase.
Yeah.
You also seem to suggest that crimes are on the increase.
Certainly, all forms of crime, even child prostitution, is on the increase.
But in fairness, I mean, where is this fact coming from?
I listened to a documentary on Joy FM, a news feature,
Yes.
your station,
Yes.
on child prostitution.
Yeah.
And that is where I got the statistics. I cannot give you the exact numbers, but I heard it on Joy FM, a news feature, must have been 3 months ago, where there was this young girl who came from Tema.
Respectfully, are you aware of when the news feature was done?
I'm saying about 3 months ago.
Yes, that was something aired. I'm talking about when it was put together. Are you aware?
Or you are. I heard it 3 months ago.
Yes, but
for me as a listener, I don't care when it was put together.
yes, because the statistics reflect a period.
I'm a listener.
Yes, I get your point, but I'm asking you to provide me statistics to this particular.
I am
increase
giving
in
you the
crime.
source of my information.
I get your point.
At the time,
I'm saying that you may be misconstruing these
at the time the
statistics.
source was putting out the information,
Yeah.
the source didn't give me the timeline within which the feature was done. All I heard was that news feature, airing so and so and so, and I listened.
I get your point, but I am telling you that there is current evidence suggests that crime compared 2016 and 2017 within the first half of the year, it is 1/3 the number we had in the previous year. Are you aware of this?
Where from these figures?
This is actually from the police and also from the support.
What type of crime? Because I know that the police categorize crime,
Yes, all forms, and I repeat that.
All forms?
All forms, yes.
including.
And they put it out there.
Hold
You
on,
should have
all,
known that.
all forms,
Yes.
including the Hollywood-style shooting of a police officer at La Paz.
What's that?
The Hollywood-style,
Yes.
gunning down of a police officer at La Paz.
Sorry, we are half year. So far, how many police officers have been killed?
About 5-6 of them have gone in the last 2 months.
In the year 2014, it was within the same period, 14.
14 policemen.
Yes. Are you not aware?
Please.
I'm just quoting figures that the same institution,
Please,
the same
which
police,
institution?
but the same police
14
institution.
40 policemen.
Yes, respectfully, I'm
In
just quoting
road
figures from.
in road accidents or in robbery. Please, let's get the facts right.
No.
Police,
Hold on. I'm just saying that this is the same number within the period I'm talking about.
Maybe you've gone to pick somewhere the obituary of policemen.
Oh, no. I'm quoting figures from the police.
No,
And
maybe
from
you've
the
seen
same
obituary of
institution.
policemen and think that the obituary, why people die on a daily basis. But that is natural death. Or some of them, okay, not natural.
No.
But otherwise, you can't look at the obituary and
I
use
am
that for statistics.
referencing the same institution, the police, in this particular case, their own statistics. Except you're saying that they are downplaying the figures now or intentionally pushing it up previously.
You will have to convince me, Raymond, beyond reasonable doubt, that last year of 2016,
yes.
within the first quarter, 15 policemen.
No, sorry, I said 2014.
2014.
Yes, and I'm quoting 14. I'm still quoting the police as the source of this data. Do you doubt that?
That 15 policemen
14,
died.
yes.
14 in the first 6 months. Out of what?
Not in doubt.
Road accidents. That what we are not witnessing, where people are shooting
sorry,
policemen.
do you have contrary
in broad,
evidence to
broad
suggest
daylight.
otherwise? Do you have contrary evidence to suggest otherwise?
I will not sit on air and say I don't trust your information. When I'm saying that I have,
and I'm also saying it's the police that's giving the information. Yes,
we'll have to come back with round 2 of this program. You bring your statistics and I bring my statistics.
No, hold on. I'm saying that it's the police that's the source of my statistics. Recently, they did a press conference to actually state that the Ministry of Interior quoted same to back their point about.
If I tell you, you're asking me, and if I tell you that the police are handicapped,
that's not in doubt.
It's not in doubt.
Yes.
I'm not about to take a swipe at the police as an institution. What I'm saying is that
because what happens all the time is that you want to blame the political leadership when people have been given mandates to do their job.
Policemen have become easy game for these criminals. They have become easy game for these criminals, and I don't think that is proper and fair.
Okay, let me get your point. You also explained to us that very credible intelligence information reaching us, and I'm quoting the statement, has it that a lot of the armed robbery and killing of our hard-working police officers is being done by elements belonging to the aforementioned militant goon squads associated with the NPP. Proof.
Intelligence, that's what we've told you.
From where?
Intelligence gathering. You are a media personnel.
I do.
You do a lot of intelligence gathering.
Yes.
So you have sources.
Yes.
And you protect your sources.
Yeah.
So
but you are not a media institution.
Please.
Oh, okay.
The policy is universal.
I see.
It's like doctor-patient relationship.
I just want to
It's
also
like a Catholic father and somebody come and confess his sins. It's the same thing.
I get your point.
Source confidentiality.
I just want to know from you that when the source...
Otherwise, Catholic fathers who every day come Sunday morning, come and preach about the people who came to confess and tell the sins that they came to confess about.
Have you relayed this information to the police?
The police is aware.
Have you relayed the information
to the police? The police is aware.
Has the NDC officially sent a notification to the police about this information?
I said the police is aware.
How did they get to know this?
The police is aware, Raymond.
Because you are saying something that's very critical. The police is out there looking for people who did this crime. You have information that can lead. You are not only saying that you know the people, you know the groups they belong to, so can identify these people. It's not only plausible as citizens of this republic to submit such information to help the police in arresting these people.
What do you think that we are doing? Communicating through the media.
You're not telling them.
It's one of the most powerful ways of putting information across. Beyond the silent communication. So that is why we're putting it out in the public. Is that all the
information you are giving the police? That you have intelligence that suggests this is happening? Is that all?
Why should I?
Are there details?
Why should I give you more details? What we are telling you is that this is what we have picked up.
So it's not sounding like usual political communication.
It is not usual political communication. These guys began right at the seat of government. They were allowed to get away with it. They moved to Kintampo Waterfalls. 18 innocent school children died because some unprofessional guys moved in there saying that they are buying Abaso. Our government is in, so get out of the place. Innocent school kids died. They did it in Kumasi. Then the Attorney General comes, filing nolli prosequi. No case. Do you know the message that you are sending out there to these criminal gangs? That look, go ahead and do it. The system will allow you to go scot-free. Let
me interrogate this other issue. You said in direct reaction to the breakdown of law and order, as well as the desperation in the voice of the IGP, Dr. Kosieni, a security expert, is also foreboding doom for the nation. Do you know how long he's been making this statement?
He could have been making this statement since Adam, but he has made it again.
He's repeated it.
That's it. He could be making it since then.
So what's special about the repetition now?
The repetition now is that we are in 2017 and Akufo is president.
What did the NDC do about these comments when he made them previously?
President Mills, when he came, began to re-equip the police. Not only the police, the military. At the time President Mills came, the Air Force was virtually dead. We re-equipped the Air Force with crafts. President Mills alone commissioned 5 Navy ships in second year. I was there with him.
President Mahama.
Garinga, Eho, and others.
President Mahama.
The fire service was recruited.
I'm satisfied with the data you are giving for President Mills.
I'm telling you.
I'm talking about President Mahama.
Let me give you the history. Then the Mahama government came and continued. Right here at the state forecourt of the state
house.
You
seem not to have as much detail on the Mahama government as you have for President Mills.
Certainly, as President Mills' director of communications, speaking for the president on a minute-by-minute basis and attending cabinet meetings, I had access to information on a real-time basis.
Is it also probably because after President Mills, it was not as strong and hard as a fight, and retooling of the security institutions?
It was a continuous process. It was a continuous process.
But questioning in 2012, questioning in 2014, questioning in 2015, said that consistently.
Questioning as an academic,
yes,
100 years from now, will still be doing academic analysis and statistics and put out.
Yes, but I still
that is his job.
You quote him.
That is his.
To make the point that there's insecurity now.
So he did it last year, 2 years ago. He's done it today. I am discussing what he has said today.
Yes, and
tomorrow
I'm saying
he says it again.
He has said the same thing.
So we will discuss it in today's context.
So it was previously the case, and it's now still the case.
Why? Crime has been with us. It's how you confront the crime and you show commitment to confronting the crime. That is the issue.
Oh, okay. So that's the point you want to make in this particular case. It was lost on me because you're referencing somebody to make the point that there is now. Now you tell me that.
Why?
You're referencing
the Bible has been there since when? But every Sunday we go to church and the sermon is preached again.
Okay, so you also made a point, which I want to quote because I don't want to put you out of context anyway. Why did the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces not do his utmost best to assuage the fears of Ghanaians that he would not allow Ghana to slide into lawlessness and instead of anarchy? Has he not done so?
How so?
State of the Nation's address, he stated that.
And I'm telling you that after the State of the Nation address,
yes,
the boys went on a rampage again.
But he said that again.
Master,
he's consistently...
That is why earlier in the speech, you read it yourself.
So why did
that rattling English
yes,
with certain intonations does not mean that you are giving substance to what you are saying.
What do you consider to be utmost best in this case?
I'm saying that if the president wants to convince us that he's fighting crime headlong, there's more to it than just say it in passing.
What do you want done specifically?
Even when Major Mahama was brutally murdered and was being buried, the Commander-in-Chief chose to be at an ocean summit in Brussels.
Again,
what was he doing at an ocean summit?
What do you want
commitment to the troops alone?
What is commitment to the
troops? And being
at
the burial alone would have been enough show of leadership that, look, I am concerned and I am bothered.
You want him to attend the burial of people who...
He should have. The callous manner in which the man
that's
was buried,
all you want him to do?
He was at an ocean summit. And in this statement, we have said that it's about time that he pins himself down and begins to do some serious work in this country because governance is not a tea party.
I wanted to know beyond having to attend burial of people who have actually lost their lives.
I'm not saying that he should tee himself up for all burials in Ghana. I am saying the circumstances under which Mahama was murdered. The brutal circumstances.
It doesn't matter the vice president was
there. You claim
there.
You were fighting Galamsey.
It doesn't matter the vice president was there.
We didn't vote for the vice president. For goodness sake, we didn't vote for the vice president. Yes, he will act when the president is not there. But for goodness, there are certain things that require the presence of the president and commander-in-chief of the republic.
So you also have a difficulty with the traveling of the president. You said that he should pin himself down and get to work.
Yes.
Within the same period in 2013, how many outside travels had the President Mahama done?
I will not be able to give you the stats.
Were you worried about that?
I'm worried about it now.
Were you worried about the previous one?
Because in 2013, at least, it was President Mills had begun in 2009. He passed on 2012. He so rest in peace. President Muhammad Khan. There was a lot of stability in the system. There was not this level of chaos, mayhem, and lawlessness. So yes, the president will do 1 or 2 travels. But this frivolous junketing.
So your problem is not really with the traveling.
He can leave the country for 2.5 weeks. That he's on the West Coast. Doing what?
Sorry, your problem is not really with the traveling. And the rate at which you do that.
As for the travels, you will travel as president, not with.
Your problem is exactly with what?
The frequency.
Okay, but you can't tell me
the long stay.
Exact number
compared to the frequency and the long stay as well.
Okay.
2.5, 3 weeks. You're out of the country. What are you doing?
I'm trying to take a break now. When we return from this particular break, we'll continue our conversation with the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. 6 months of the Akufo Addo government. What can you mark him on? You're welcome back. This is Upfront. My guest is Kwaku Anyidohu, Deputy General Secretary of the largest opposition party in this country. Barely a year ago, that party was in power. And that party is assessing 6 months stay of the NPP. They actually have very bad ratings of the current government. And that's what we are looking at on this particular engagement. He's been talking about what their press conference today dealt with, and we've been interrogating some of the issues in that particular end. So we are at the point of getting to know what is really your problem. I remember when President Mahama was there, the NPP also held a similar press conference saying, Mr. President, stop traveling. Then the NDC referenced John Kufuor's time and said he was the biggest traveler. He gave 2 years of presidency to the then Vice President, Aliyu Mahama, because of his stay outside the country. The politicking about how far you travel out and how long you go doesn't really matter. It's not the end in itself, the fruits you bring out of that.
Look, as a president, you travel. I mean,
Yeah.
I work at the presidency. If you want to travel every day, there will be reason to travel. The invitations just flooding. There's a deluge of invitations that come in.
Forgive me, have you compared the traveling to know that this is on the high side?
And I'm telling you that it is up to you, the president, to be circumspect in your choices as to where to go and where not to go.
Do you have a problem with where he's going?
I mean, like I'm just telling you that
Specifically
I can imagine President Rawlings as commander-in-chief. I know President Atamils as commander-in-chief. Given, not because it happened, but given that the late Major Adams had been so callously murdered under the regime of President Rawlings, of course, because of his affinity to the military, I'm not sure President Rawlings would have traveled anywhere. Knowing President Mills for who he was, the kind of kind-hearted person he was, his instinct would have been, oh, I won't go on this trip. Let me rather be here for this funeral. As for President Mahama, he even enjoyed, he even enjoyed wearing the military uniform. So I will have no doubt that he would have been around.
Interesting.
What was President Akufo busy doing at an Oceans summit somewhere?
Apart from the single incident.
Look, leadership doesn't come easy, my brother.
Apart from the
it
single
comes with
incident.
sacrifices.
It
comes with certain decisions that makes you look stoic.
Your point is well made.
It makes you look stoic.
Your point is well made. I'm asking, apart from this single incident, do you have any other? And the bed of that question was, what did you expect him to do in the fight and in the, what they call it, quest to improve law and order in the country that he was not doing? That was the bed of that question.
Yes. To equip the police. Look, I'll tell you why we have people in the police service. Not because they're NDC people. We have friends, we have relatives, we have Ghanaians. Apart from the lack of equipment.
Which specific areas do they lack equipment?
Apart from the lack of equipment, the political interference is another major problem.
How do you explain that?
Political interference. When you have Kennedy Japan, Raymond, you don't seem to be listening to me. When you have Kennedy Japan,
no, but
hold on, please.
You're giving the examples of Kennedy Japan.
Let me make my point.
But Kennedy Japan is not really the entire MPP or the government of the Republic of Ghana. Even the executive president says he has opinion. He disagrees with some of them.
Kennedy Japan, until recently, when he started coughing in a direction that does not seem to sit well with the MPP, used to be the one who controlled, and he didn't hide it. So if Kennedy Japan says, don't touch these criminals, one of the boys, when they were being hauled before the court, said openly that when they went there, the reason why they misbehaved was because they had been assured that I'm telling you, I'm a politician.
I get your point.
Beyond that, I have been in government before. Beyond that, we understand the system. And I'm telling you that the political interference is what is frustrating the police.
I get your point.
Yes, lack of equipment. But the political interference is the biggest problem.
We were on the traveling of the president. You actually asked them to disclose how much they are taking.
Yes.
As in allowance.
It's critical.
What's the end game?
The catch there, Raymond, is that moving the president, because I worked with President Mills, and incidentally, his 5th anniversary is coming up.
How much was the allowance then? Per diem?
President Mills took no per diem, and that's an opinion.
The individual or?
Oh, individuals took, I took.
You took?
And the per diem is...
But does it matter if the president doesn't take?
He decided not to take.
Okay.
He chose not to take.
Yes.
That's President...
How much was the per diem?
No, it's not static.
So
it's not static for
on the
a
average,
trip.
how much was it?
Oh no, 200. I mean, if you are in, I remember a time I went to Equatorial Guinea. 3 nights in Equatorial Guinea doing the rating didn't come to $150. And I remember there was one journalist who went with us.
Did you ever go to Germany?
Oh yeah, there was Germany.
How much was it for Germany?
You are getting about $100 euro per night or something, and you are doing 2 nights, so you come back 3 nights, come back 300
Under
euro.
President Mahama, how much?
I don't know.
I
wasn't part of the government system, so I would know.
But when you put out a statement like this, you're able to do comparisons and put out.
So that is why we're asking the question that is it $5,000 or $4,000?
Why are you asking the question?
We must ask. Because that's what we are picking up. Because
but you were not able to find out how much it was under John Mahama.
Why didn't you ask at the time? We are saying that what we are picking up
People
now.
ask the question. I remember
so
that question.
That's up to you to ask.
I'm asking.
I choose to ask the questions I want to ask. And I say for now,
yes,
what we are picking up is that they're taking between the range of 4,000 and 5,000.
Or 2,000 or 1,000.
That is for the small ones who follow them. But the Oboros, they are in the 5,000.
As in Oboros is a minister?
Oh, the president himself and his family and friends and cronies who are around him.
Sorry, I mean the office of the president people.
Look, Raymond.
No, I just want to be clear which people we are talking about. So
yes,
if I'm asking them the question, I know who to ask the question.
Go and ask them. Go and ask them.
So who are you referencing?
Secretary to the president, the chief of staff, or whoever. Those people who travel around him.
Okay.
And the ministers.
And they are taking 5,000 or 4,000.
Look.
Are you asking a question or you are making a declarative statement?
We are asking the question.
But you have a figure in mind.
We're asking for full disclosure.
But you have a figure in mind.
Because when you have the budget at the presidency, and we just told you that the allocation, the budgetary allocation alone to the office of the president for this year exceeds the allocation for the office of the president for the 4 years that John Dramani Mahama was in office. We are telling you that, and the facts are there.
Including the year that they overspent to over 100%.
I am telling you, you combine all.
I'm just asking.
Combine all.
Okay.
And we are saying that the budgetary allocation for the office of the president, Nana Akufo, in this year's budget, presented by his cousin, Ken Ofori-Atta.
The finance minister,
It is his cousin.
That's not in doubt, but he's a finance minister.
I choose to refer to him as his cousin.
Okay, please proceed.
His blood relation from JB. The money that he has allocated for his senior cousin at the presidency is more than the amount of money that Setekpe, who is not related to John Mahama's budget, sent to the presidency in 4 years. What is happening at that presidency?
Sorry, they've explained that the ministries you have dictated here ought to be scrapped are actually at the presidency. These ministries will be functioning and doing more important things. The ministries of monitoring, the ministries of special development initiatives, the ministries of regional reorganization, and many of them which were recently created. They are all going to feed into this budget.
Give him.
Yes.
It's a very wise way. When Bawumia tells you that they are doing smart borrowing.
I'm confused. I mean, you are talking about the office of the president and the ministries.
Bawumia is part of the office of the president.
I get your point, but is he the one justifying it now?
Why don't you allow me to develop my point?
Yeah, because I wanted to shape in a way that I can understand you, so that people out there can also appreciate this.
I don't think I'm speaking Greek.
Not at all. But the coherence of it is what I want to be clear in my mind on.
I'm not speaking Greek.
I get you.
Nor Latin. I'm speaking English. So just listen to me. I am saying that the money that has been given to the presidency is more than what John Mahama was at.
That point has been made.
So I'm building the point more. And I'm saying that, and you are saying, the argument you are saying is that all these amorphous and nebulous ministries that have been packed at the presidency will feed from this budget. I agree. But I'm saying that is smart thinking. I'm going to be spending a lot of money at the presidency. Let me create nebulous ministries at the presidency and bring all their budget to the presidency. Yet none of those ministries have been created. So Dangote is sitting down there. Go and ask whether he has a ministry.
He has a ministry.
Go and ask, what's his name? Tertiary man, what's his name? Yanka, whether he has a ministry.
He is at the Ministry of Education.
Are
you aware of that?
You go and ask the other one.
Forgive me, are you aware of that?
The Harbour, whether she has a ministry.
Are you aware that he is at the Ministry of Education? And that his portfolio is Minister of State in charge of tertiary education.
So he's at the ministry?
Yes.
Not at the presidency?
He's at the Ministry of Education. That's where his office is.
Minister of State at the ministry?
Yeah.
So between he and Napo, who's in charge of the ministry?
Napo is in charge of the entire ministry. He's in charge of the tertiary sector.
Yeah.
But my main issue is when you list ministries and ministers and ask where they are, what's your point? Are you saying that they are not functioning?
And I'm saying the point I'm making, Raymond, is that it's crafty accounting. So the president is going to be traveling a lot. He needs a lot of money to be traveling. Let's create these nebulous and amorphous amoeba-like ministries, slap them on the office of the president, and say that all these monies that are going to the president, some will go to these ministries for the operation. Now, it's been 6 months. These ministries are non-functional.
Are you sure?
Even offices.
Sorry,
even offices to operate from.
Take your time. When you say you're non-functional, which ones are you referring to?
Look, you tell me. Give me the paper. Let me read. Let me also read.
I saw, but it's your paper.
Yes, so read them. Give me.
One, you mentioned public procurement.
Yes. Look, public procurement. Addo Safo.
Yes.
Who's gone into self-imposed exile?
Sorry, I mean, you're saying that they are not doing anything.
Let me tell you why they're not doing anything.
Why?
Specifically to do with these army worms. They have gone and procured some...
public procurement doesn't do procurement.
Eh?
They don't do procurement.
I am telling you that on a single sourcing, the Agric Ministry has gone to procure some pesticides, something, wormicide.
I'm waiting for the time you tell me what public procurement is not doing.
But didn't they send her there that they are going to go through
okay, so you say they did not review that one?
Please.
That's what you're saying.
Minister for Public Procurement, what are you doing? Don't they have procurement officers all over in the ministries?
Okay, so hold on.
And that's the point that we're making. Every ministry has a procurement officer.
Are you saying that the office is nebulous or they are not doing anything?
It's useless.
Okay, hold on. How about regional reorganization?
Damboche, my own senior brother.
Yes.
Which region are they reorganizing?
But you know that there's a manifesto promise that the
I agree.
Yes.
That manifesto promise.
Do you know what this particular ministry has been doing?
Reorganizing. What are they reorganizing?
Yes. Are you aware or you don't know?
What are they reorganizing?
Ministry, what they call it, regions. Are you aware that's
what
are
they reorganizing? What is he reorganizing? My own brother Damboche, what is he reorganizing?
Sorry, I'm asking you, do you know whether they are working or not?
They are not working.
Are you sure?
Who is the
so
chief?
If I tell you what they are doing...
Who is the chief director?
Sorry, if I tell you what they are doing, would you,
who is the chief director?
Back down on the claim they are not
working?
Who
is the chief director?
I'm telling you, I mean, really, it's to do what they are doing. I'm asking you, if I tell you what they are doing, will you back down on the claim?
Tell me what they are doing.
Are you aware that they've gone around the country,
spending money? That's what they are doing.
Held in 6 regions, consultations with chiefs on the carved areas for creation. Are you aware?
Carved areas?
Yes.
Which areas?
You're not aware?
No, which areas?
1. We're talking about the Oti region for the Volta region.
Yes.
Where
I come from.
The Western North. The Western North. You're not aware of that one too?
And what are the modalities for creating new regions?
But you do not know what they are doing, and you are questioning and insisting that they are not doing anything.
I said, it is this one. You didn't need a whole ministry for it.
But that's a different question.
Under the local government ministry, the number of cartographers who are the local government ministry can take Ghana's map and carve out new regions out of the map.
So when you say they are not doing anything,
and their processes.
So when you say they are not doing anything, you meant you don't think they are needed.
What is Addo Safo doing as procurement?
Is it in doubt?
First of all, what are the things that they are procuring? What are they procuring?
The procurement doesn't do procurement.
They
actually supervise the procedure
for procurement.
No, so clearly you did
not. So what's her real title? Minister for what?
So you did not follow the procedure that was explained by the president as her job.
Oh, please.
Her job is to review the process of procurement by every single institution in the country.
Oh, I see.
That's her job.
Yet the Minister of Agric was able to go and procure fake wormicides.
Show me proof.
On a single source.
Show me proof.
But when you were coming here this morning, you didn't tell me that this is what you're coming to. That is how I put the documents here. So it's unfair to put me on camera and say, show me proof. You to show me proof. You knew why you were coming here.
Yes.
So you were prepared.
Yes.
So on the scale of sinning, you are sinning more than me because you were prepared. You knew what you're coming to do. I didn't know what you're coming to do. So you've led me to sin.
No, but I mean...
You are a greater sinner.
You are making allegations at all points in time. You should be able to back them with evidence.
Raymond, you are talking as if we're not in a law court.
No, not at all. But I insist that the people who are listening to you...
You are not the prosecutor.
They demand beyond just having to tell them that this is the incident.
I am convincing them and I am telling them that there's a lot of unnecessary expenditure at the office of the president. And that the president deliberately created these ministries for it to look as if there's a lot of things happening at the ministry. Only so that he can have a huge budget from which he can be traveling and giving himself
one of your justifications for this particular conduct is you say that there are importing expensive dinner suits and bow ties from the UK, Paris, and Italy and spending lavishly on state banquets.
Yes. Okay. On Tuesday, Graphic and Times, I saw President Akufo Addo and Baumia in their black tuxedos and their bow ties and their white shirts, looking like some Siamese twins.
What's the point?
Siamese twins.
What is your point?
And they said they were having a state dinner in a banquet in honor of Georgina Wood.
Yes, the exiting CJ.
Yes, I'm sure you saw it yourself.
Yes.
And this is not the first.
I'm asking you, what's your point?
The
State dinners have always happened. Under John Mahama, under President Mills, they happened.
President Mills didn't have, I can tell you, not a single state dinner. These people on the day of inauguration. Relax. I said I worked with President Mills. The entire
period from inauguration to the time.
From inauguration, 7th January 2009 till 24th July 2012. State dinner. The only thing that you got was cocktails on New Year's Day for the diplomatic call. I'm telling you, you go and check the records.
Okay, so let me actually...
But Akufo Addo on his inaugural day, 7th January 2017, 3 separate state banquets because the king has come. All hail him.
Okay, let me get this part clarified. You said that they bought these suits from the UK, Paris, and Italy.
Yes.
Which specific institutions did they buy it from?
I'm not about to spoil anybody's business in London or Paris or in Italy. Neither am I going to give unfair what do you call it, advert to that person.
Again.
But our sources.
Again.
Our sources at the presidency.
Again.
You see how this
Again, you are making allegations without any backing.
You see how disgruntled Kennedy Japan is.
Okay, sorry.
And
how
talking.
Many were bought from
there
the
are many
UK?
more. There are many more disgruntled people who are talking to us. There are people at the presidency who are not happy.
Okay.
And are talking to us. There are people in Taflache all over the place who are telling us things that, and we know. There's one particular Ghanaian designer somewhere in the UK. I won't mention his name, but if people can stretch their minds, they will know who I'm talking about. They flew him into Ghana to come and take measurements, go back to London and produce suits in record time. So when you see them all tucked up in those tuxedos, those their white dinner shirts and their bow ties, like the president and his vice president looking like Siamese twins, you know how much those things cost?
Sorry, let me be clear in my mind of what you are really saying.
Let them continue banqueting.
The budget line of the, appropriations bill has been passed, right?
Yes.
Can you show me a single budget line that indicated that this is what will be used for purchasing these products?
Look, and I'm saying that the office of the president.
Yeah.
Do you know the line that goes to the office of the president? That is unaccounted for.
Okay, so it's part of the unaccounted for money. All right. So you also made some issues that I'm sure we may be able to interrogate sometime in the future. You said that Akufo Addo and Bawumia. Okay, so you are saying that if indeed Akufo Addo and Bawumia borrowed a whopping 40 billion in just 6 months, then by the time they run out of their 4 years, Ghanaians will be saddled with about 640 billion. Where did he get this 40 billion from?
Are you people asking? Bernard Davle asked him when you people met the president.
Sorry, I'm asking you.
So we heard it from Bernard Davle. We heard it from the news.
The NDC,
and then when you see,
are you saying that the NDC is not capable?
Hold on.
Sorry, are you saying that the NDC is not capable of determining how much has been borrowed within this period?
Please hold on.
It's not true that 40 billion has been borrowed.
Please hold on.
And indeed, Bernard did not say that 40 billion has been borrowed. Are you aware of that?
Raymond.
Yes.
Listen. The president, out of his own volition,
yes,
said questions. He come and ask questions, and so they came. A figure of 40 billion was bandied around by a member of the press. When the figure was thrown at the president,
the largest opposition party picks up that figure.
Listen to me.
Without any
I want to ridicule. You are trying to say it's not true, but if it is not true, then the president and his vice president are truly clueless. Because when the question was thrown to the president, and he looked at his vice president because he didn't know what to do, and the vice president came, between the two of them, if what Bernard had said wasn't true, it was their duty to punch holes into what Bernard said. But they went ahead and answered it. So between the two, if anybody is clowning, who's clowning?
It's not
it's
true.
The president and his vice.
The government has borrowed 40 billion. That's
why didn't they tell us? Why didn't the president and the vice president, who is a PhD holder in economics,
I don't rely on the president for facts.
I rely on him. I
am indicating to you that you, the NDC,
we deliberately use this figure to make them look ridiculous.
I'm saying you, the NDC, cannot repeat an untruth.
What is an untruth?
40 billion has not been borrowed by this government. Are you aware?
That is what they themselves answered the question. They agree that they are borrowed, and that's why Bawumia will tell you a smart accounting, a smart financing,
forgive me, I have
smart
2
borrowing.
You are commenting
Tell Bawumia that he's not smart after all.
I get your point. That point is actually
important. He's not smart after all.
Let me ask you, what is this your interest in linking the MPP with the petitions on the AC?
Well,
the minority that said
yes, the minority.
But the NDC, is it an NDC stance or is it just a minority that stance?
That's the NDC stance.
Really?
Oh yes. That's
why?
The NDC stance.
Why? What is the proof in this?
The proof in it It's in the proof of the pudding is in the inside of the pudding. Charlotte Osei from day one.
I've not, all the evidence laws I've seen studied in this republic. There's none that suggests that this expression has basis.
Charlotte Osei from day one was linked with and to the NDC. They tried all kinds of things.
So that's why you think that the MPP is doing that?
But they made it very clear. How many of the MPP people didn't say, Mamani Eba, you be too free?
Did the president say that?
What the heck are you talking about, Raymond?
Did the vice president say that?
Which
people are you talking about?
The president and his vice himself.
Sorry. Specifically,
the Kennedy Japans of this world, they want to miss.
But the president said he doesn't listen to him.
The president didn't say that. He dare not say so. He says Kennedy's words don't irritate him.
Yes, he said he disagreed with him on his comment.
He did not say he disagrees. He just laughed it off.
No.
That is a tacit approval of what Kennedy said.
So you are relying on what MP people have said in Thailand?
Yes!
Okay, I see your point. And you say that you resist this. You resist this. How are you going to do that?
Through the Constitution.
How?
Because it's a fixed tenor. They dare touch her, but
there's a procedure for the removal of the E-petitions.
Certainly.
If that procedure is followed, how are you going to resist that?
Fine, let them follow it. Let them also follow it.
You follow it how?
It's not the same Constitution.
Yes.
So let them follow it. We also follow it. Let them go on their trajectory. We also go on our trajectory.
Finally, and I need to wrap up on this one. President Mills' anniversary is coming up. What are the programs put in place for it?
Well, yes. Tomorrow is the 21st, Friday.
Yes.
There should be some charity donation. Were he alive, he would have been 74 tomorrow. And as was the norm when he was around, he did a lot of charity donations on his birthday. So his son, Kofi, and a few others will be doing that. Then I reckon on Saturday there should be some hockey tournament at the Theodosia Oko Park. But Monday, which is the 24th, which will be exactly 5 years of his passing away, 8 o'clock in the morning, we are gathering at Asumdwe Park for about an hour's service, memorial service, wreath laying ceremony.
Okay.
Yes, and then from there we move to Kuku Hill, his campaign office.
Okay.
The place given to him by the late Harry Sawyer. We will go there and gather again as an NDC family.
Is there going to be a lecture someday?
Yes, 27th, which is Thursday.
Okay.
There will be the 5th in the series of the Atta Mills Memorial Lecture.
Interesting.
To be delivered by Lord Paul Boateng of the British House of Lords. Yeah, so that is it. Okay,
finally, and I'll ask this finally because the NDC is also going through some internal engagement. When are you going to release the report to all of us to read to? The big report.
The report?
Yes.
I thought we fed
we are all stakeholders in this republic. We want to know the details.
I thought we fed you with enough.
Does the report indict former President Mahama?
We gave you recommendations on the report.
That's not the most important part. The details. Does the report indict former President Mahama?
We've given you what we need to give you.
Does the report indict former President Mahama?
We've given you what we need to give you.
Would you want former President Mahama to be the flagbearer of the NDC?
The report says we should go around, do a healing and reconciliation tour.
Yes.
We should rebuild the branches. We should get the party structures working up. We should get ourselves a very credible register. Don't forget that. Exactly.
I get your point.
Those are the issues that we are dealing with.
Is the party endorsing former President Mahama's tour across the country?
That is in the media.
You don't know about that?
No.
The party has not endorsed that?
No.
He has not written officially to you?
No. That is in the media. It's not at the national
Honorable
level.
Deputy General Secretary, I think we can leave our conversation here. We will have this conversation consistently.
Why not?
I hope we continue like that.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
All right.
Well, folks, that's how we tie the nice ribbons on today's edition of Upfront. My name is Raymond Dalkwa. My guest was the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Koku Anyidohu. 6 months of the Akufo Addo administration reviewed.